Tree Talking Time is brought to you by Conkey's Outdoors. Get all your hound hunting needs at conkeys.com. Welcome to Tree Talking Time, where we talk all things tree dogs, from the smallest feists to the largest hounds, treating squirrels to bears and everything in between. And from time to time, we might even run a little fast game. Need reliable housing for your animals? Animal Housing Solutions in Mayo, Florida builds custom coops, kennels, and shelters that are strong, durable, and designed with your animal's comfort in mind. Whether you need a large-scale kennel or a small custom chicken coop, they've got you covered. Quality craftsmanship, great service, and solutions built to last. That's the Animal Housing Solution promise. Check them out at Animal Housing Solutions on Facebook. Animal Housing Solutions, where your animals come first. Your dogs deserve the very best, and that's exactly what Elite Nutrition Canine Products delivers. Packed with premium ingredients and backed by science, their formulas are designed to boost energy, support joint health, and keep coats shiny and strong. Whether you've got a working dog, a hunting partner, or just a loyal best friend, Elite Nutrition gives them the fuel they need to thrive. Don't settle for ordinary. Choose the nutrition your dog deserves. Find Elite Nutrition Canine Products today and give your dog the Elite Edge. Go to shopeliteglobal.com and use the code TREE10 on your next purchase.
The first coon I ever killed, I was in 3rd or 4th grade, and my older brother and myself, we had an English Shepherd dog, called him Old Boots.
Okay.
Treed the first squirrel I ever killed, treed the first coon, bayed the first coon in a groundhog hole. Hole only went in so far. So we were standing there, and he was getting his ears chewed off, and his nose was just about a bloody mess. So it was about a 1/4 mile to the house. My brother stayed with him with Old Boots, and I walked to the house and asked Grandpa for the rifle. And his coon season was over.
Of course it was.
It was February. So I went back to the house. Grandpa, he says, well, Law's not in. And I said, well, he's chewing Old Boots all up and we can't pull him out. So I went back to he gave me 6 cartridges. And he had an old 550 Remington automatic. He said, don't put a shell in it till you get there. So I walked back down there. And, I'm not very big, not very old. My brother's a year and a half older than I am. That coon was scaring us to death.
Yeah.
So Old Boots, he got in there and grabbed it by the head and give it a jerk backwards. And when he did, it got a good piece of him. So he let loose. And when he let loose, I let loose. So that was my first coon.
How long ago was that? You probably would have been like 8, 9 years old, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe 10.
Yeah. It'd been 67, going to be 68 before long. I was about 9 or 10 years old, maybe a little younger. Might have been younger.
It's roughly 60 years ago.
60 years yeah.
And did that just light the fire in you?
Well, that and listening to Grandpa.
Okay.
Sitting on the porch, listening about when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And they were, that whole bottom where we hunted was timber.
Okay.
And the creek was up against, where you drive through. We drove through that branch down there.
Yep.
They lived in a log cabin.
Okay.
And there was a bunch of them. And they'd get flooded out. First time my grandma met him and his siblings were in the kitchen making biscuits in knee-deep water.
Daggone.
So that's how big the creek could get. But,
that's pretty high.
And he had an old black, when I was little, when I was about 2, he had an old hound named June.
Okay.
And I can remember him getting his 7-cell Texas flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
Grandma cleaning the globe on the old coal oil lantern, and him taking an old 12 gauge, and he'd go coon hunting.
That's awesome.
And he'd be gone all night.
Yeah.
He'd walk and go west. He'd go about as far west as he could go, make a big circle over, and he'd almost get down into the bluff. And he'd catch coons with old June, and I remember sitting out in the yard with old June just laying there, he was just a big old black and tan hound.
Okay. So between the stories and that first encounter, huh?
Yeah. And sitting on the porch down, we'd be on the porch sitting out there. Grandpa, he'd roll him a Prince Albert or pack his pipe. We'd be sitting out there listening to the owls and stuff, and you'd hear hound. Everybody had a dog.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Were there a lot of coons back then?
There were coons, but there weren't a lot of them.
Okay.
You earned them.
Mm-hmm.
You earned them. Your dogs earned them.
Yeah.
Or if you were a trapper, there was a lot of guys trapped too back then. I used to do both. I still love to trap.
It's never something I've got into. I think it's cool, and I would like to. It's just so expensive to get into it, and there's no money in it, and it's it's so much work.
It's just something you got to do.
Yeah, just because you like it.
I get all the coyote hunters in the country mad at me because the year I retired, neighbors, they asked me to catch coyotes.
Mm-hmm.
So I caught 120 some coyotes.
Dang.
And the kids that coyote hunt, they were getting a little bit. But all they do is drink coffee and ride around. And, chat on.
As a coon hunter, if somebody went and trapped all the coons, you'd be a little upset too.
No, I used to do both. That never did bother me because it all works out.
Okay.
It all works out. I mean,
you're about the first coon hunter I've ever heard of that says that it works out. Most coon hunters, if someone trapped their spots, they'd be madder than a hornet.
That always bothered me that people were like that. Because guys got as much right to set a steel trap as he does cut a hound loose or a cur dog.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just, I grew up listening to a lot of old men that were born in the late 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
Like my grandfather and old Henry Friend and Sherman Berry and a bunch of old guys around, the Hardwick brothers. Them guys, they knew all about nature.
Mm-hmm.
They lived on the creek. They could tell you just about to the day when the creek was going to leave its banks, and that's the truth.
Wow.
So it was just...
They lived it.
Yeah, they lived it.
They
either lived it or they weren't going to survive.
Yep. And, we hunt for fun, but they weren't hunting for fun.
No, my grandpa and his brothers, that whole bottom down there was timber, and if they'd get a skiff of snow, they went out with axe and cross-cut saw, and they would trail a coon to They could make more money catching coons and mink with that old Airedale dog they had than they could farming.
I've heard that from a few people. I had a guy on the podcast several years ago. He said he quit multiple jobs because in the wintertime, he said, I could
make
coon
more
hunt
money.
And make more money coon hunting than I could working.
They would actually go out with lanterns in the early fall and catch skunks out of fields, pick up possums, and they put them in a big old cellar or a corn crib that wasn't getting used. And they would feed them the milk that they, when they separated milk and scraps and stuff, and they killed them on the full moon in December.
Okay.
They'd go over in the bluff over there and dig out red wolves. But there was bounties. They could get a bounty, and they'd put a tag in the ear, and then take it to the fur buyer. So they made a lot of money.
Yeah.
But they needed every penny they got.
For sure.
And they would play pinochle till about 3 a.m, and then they'd go mink hunting.
There you go.
And the Airedale would tree mink. She'd either tree them up a tree or bay them in the ground. They'd take a shovel. They climb the trees to shake them out because they wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
That old dog never broke a hide on anything. She'd just kill it.
Interesting. You'd think a terrier, an Airedale would be hard.
Well, she was a fur dog.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of stories of good Airedales. I've yet never seen a good one go, or be hunted.
She had a little hound in her.
Okay. How about you introduce yourself?
My name is Dave Bray. I live at Kane, Illinois. All the guys around here call me Old Savvy Man. And I've been coon hunting, trapping for many, many years.
For sure.
A lot of years.
So after, you said your English Shepherd treed you that coon and a squirrel, when did you get into, having your own dogs?
Well, there used to be a kind of like a gang of us down here.
Okay.
There was the Mundy brothers. There was John Thomas and Harry, Little Bill, Dave Smay. Let's see. The Abbott kids always had a dog. And, everybody had foxhounds and had tree dogs.
Okay.
A few of them had rabbit dogs. Mundy boys had rabbit dogs. Dave Smay come up with a little blue tick female someplace. I don't know. And then we'd get hand-me-downs,
Yeah.
And as soon as we got them, we knew why they weren't hunting them.
Why they were hand-me-downs.
You're 12 years old.
Yeah.
13 years old, and that dog's treeing, you're hearing that, and it's just, boy, they got to have a coon this time. You get up there in the big old yellow tomcat or a possum or bay a skunk under a log, but it was hunting.
Yep. Better than sitting at home?
Oh, yeah. And when we'd go, Dave Smay, when he's a kid, he'd run where he was going if it was dark. So Grandpa, when we drove through the branch down there, he turned the pole light on, and he would let us use his big 7-cell light.
Okay.
And take the lantern. But when we went hunting, we had to stay where we could see that pole light.
Okay.
So we would walk a big circle so we could see that pole light. And he'd expect you home at a certain time. He said he'd tell you how long it'd take to make a circle.
That's
and
funny.
We would, and we treat that little blue tick dog treed den trees. Oh, I think the first place she smelled a coon, she was a smart little dog, and when it snapped, when she got her light switch flipped on, that little old dog treed a lot of coons.
Yeah.
We'd sit on the porch, and there'd be guys hunting, all the Turners, all the old Hank Crow, just everybody. You'd sit out and listen to the dogs tree and hear that rifle snap.
Mm-hmm.
You think, boy, I'm going to catch a coon in the trap tonight. You go down there and have a possum or a couple muskrats, and it was just fun.
For sure.
It's just the way it was, and it sunk in.
So you just grew up doing it all. Hunting, trapping, living out here.
Fishing, squirrel hunting. Best place to squirrel hunt in the world is next to a corn crib.
I'm sure.
There's one dog I didn't get to talk about.
All right. Tell us about it.
He did not belong to me.
Okay.
He belonged to Jim Stewart. in Osage City, Kansas, and his name was Ringo.
Okay.
He was half black and tan and half red bone, 3-legged. And that dog, when we were in high school, we caught coons left and right, but you could take that dog out in the daytime, as big as he was, put him in a briar patch and shoot rabbits all day long. Ran him like a beagle. Take him squirrel hunting, tree all the squirrels you could carry. Coon hunting, just amazing. And that dog, he would do anything in his power to get a hold of a coyote and kill it.
Interesting.
He was just, he was
Crazy.
about like old Boots. Just nothing but grit.
Yeah.
And did a lot of hunting with the Stewart brothers, Doug and Jim Stewart. Had a lot of fun with them guys. And, you know, when you're freshman in high school, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, good deal.
But well, maybe someday Jim will hear that.
Maybe.
Him and Doug.
So, well, I know you threw these leopard dogs and your treeing Tennessee Brindles. So and I know you got the leopard dogs first. So when did you get your first leopard?
I was going to try a walker dog out at Richard Ross's. I hunted with his dad, and I'd got a English pup from him that was out of his old red Terry dog. And he had a little female, and I think her name was Cindy or Sandy or something like that. And he bred her to a walker dog. It was named Red Eagle Dick. It was winning a lot of hunts, and he'd hunted against it dog. Okay. He liked competition hunt.
Yeah.
And I went to buy a walker dog. So I went, and we met just well up the creek on the other side of the highway up by the railroad bridge. We went, and that walker dog did a good job. But there was 2 little leopard curs. Terry left one at home, the one he was thinking about keeping, which he never did. I don't know what become of her. But the one he brought along sounded like a machine gun when she treed.
Okay.
And she had a lot of white on her. And she was about a quarter mountain cur.
Okay.
She was out of Rimby's Hawk and Fred Booth's Maud.
Yeah, that was Lizzie, right?
That was Lizzie. Called her Sissy all the time. And she would hit a tree when she was a pup, and she'd go look for another coon. I was pretty young, so I'd jog through the woods after her, get there, tie her up, or just talk to her. And one night, I was getting a little aggravated about it, because some of those hills and hollers are pretty steep, and it's kind of hard to keep up with her.
Yeah.
So she treed. She had a coon in a soft maple above a hole of water about as big as this room. So I thought, well, I'm going to find out what she's made out of. So I just knocked the coon out, and she went in the hole of water, and I just shut my light out and sat down next to the tree and just listened. And after a while, things got quiet. She come up over the bank dragging the coon.
Nice.
And I thought, well, you're a little more grittier than I thought you were.
Yeah.
So I took and put her in the dog box. And after that, it was coon after coon. And I got to hunt with her for 3.5 years.
Okay.
And we had the first Little World hunt, Carrollton Fairgrounds, and she won the treeing contest. She barked 123 times a minute, and she won the coon hunt.
Nice.
And I killed a lot of coons with her. Killed a lot of coons. The first night I drew out with her, I drew out with Red Sampson from over at Ramsey, Illinois, and I think he had Old Smoke or another old dog. One time I drew out with James Knight at one of the hunts, and some of that stuff's kind of hard to remember.
You hunted with a lot of the old legends then.
Pardon?
I said you hunted with a lot of the old legends of the leopard breed then.
Yes, I did. Some of the best people I've ever met. Some of the guys like, Sherman Borders, Dale Bennett, Bruce Smart, Bob Waters, Rex Paddock, Jim Knight. There was an old guy from Iuka, Illinois, Bill something, and it was just as nice as he could be. And Dean Beaster, Ronnie Sins, Phil King, all them guys.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like none of it was like going to a UKC hunt. I used to guide hunts, and I quit doing that. I volunteered to guide for the Medora coon hunters over here, and I went and took some redbone men hunting one night, and I never did it again.
Yeah. Now, when you got Lizzie, did that kind of shift you from hunting hounds to? Is that when you got into the cur dogs?
Yeah, because
and switched?
Leland Rimby, old Spud Rimby, that owned Old Hawk.
Yep.
I went and talked to Spud. Spud was a racehorse man. He was as ornery as sin. But there's two things he told me. He said, there's two things on this earth that'll make you a liar faster than anything in the world. He said, the first one is a horse.
Okay.
He said, the second one's a dog.
Yep.
And
I've heard the second one before.
And if he told you something, he never lied. He might talk about something and blow it up a little bit, but he never lied about it. And he knew these dogs because he had a lot of Ocala Valley blood.
Okay.
From Tim Michael's uncle, the Reverend Elam.
Yep.
And somebody else. But they were, and he was smart enough to know when he got something and saw what it could do and hunted it and how it reproduced.
Yeah.
He would go to the reproducing part.
I've told people this before, but breeding dogs is just as much science as it is an art.
Yeah.
And I think there's guys that have a knack for it.
Yeah.
And finding those reproducers and knowing what to cross them on is very important.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, that Hawk dog, I mean, I wasn't even alive when Hawk was alive. But looking back and seeing what he produced and what still in the breed today, and I know of 7 or 8 offspring out of Hawk that contributed to what we have today. So obviously he was a reproducer.
Yes.
Like, it's not like he had one pup at it,
Yeah. And then I bred Lizzie to a Hawk pup. His name was Bobby. He was a full brother to that Barney dog.
Okay. Yep.
And he was a black bobtail, a natural bobtail. Actually, it was frog-tailed. And barrel chested, big legs on him. Just a big old nice dog. Mediocre coon dog. But Spud said do it.
Okay.
And I had 7 pups. Me and Cindy got married. And Lizzie had 7 pups. 6 females and 1 male. Male was a big old chuckle-headed thing like Bobby Dog was, and he got laid on. So I had 6 females.
Mm-hmm.
And those 6 females, every one treed coons, but one of them wouldn't bark treed.
Okay. She
would run a coon, and she would hit that tree, and then she'd just sit and wait. Big, pretty. She was as ticked up as anything you ever saw. Had a couple big old merle spots on her, but she was just, she was dandy good.
Yeah.
Mike Knight took her. He never could get her to bark treed, but I don't know if they put one of them lights on her, just hunted her with the other dogs.
Okay.
And one of them went to Wisconsin. I had 2 of them. I had one I called Runty. She had a light gray saddle with merle spots on it, and the rest just a light tan. And she got stolen.
You hear a lot more of that back when
there was dog thieves. I knew there was a hunt up north here at the Scottville Coon Hunters Club one night, and a kid had a black and tan that was winning the hunts, and they went out to the trucks to leave to go, and his dog was gone.
Jeez.
And when somebody was going home, somebody took it and shot it.
Mm.
That's been a lot of years ago. Never forget that. I thought that was just so miserable.
Yeah.
But
no, because I remember a couple years ago I was talking to Rex Bowers, and he had quite a few dogs stolen, but especially with the fur trade.
Yeah,
the fur market was good, and so people, you could sell a coon dog easy.
Yeah, and you didn't want to price a dog.
Okay.
You didn't want to price a dog to anybody because people, like the old Red Terry dog that Richard Ross had, he priced him.
Mm-hmm.
At the time.
Yep.
It was a big chunk of money. 2 guys came down from up north, and they just took him hunting with Richard. When they got back to truck, they just pulled a roll of bills out and paid for him, and then there he was.
Yep. I got told that early on. My old buddy Mike told me, he said, don't ever price a dog that you don't want to sell.
Yeah.
He goes, there's been, I think, 2 times. He goes, and I thought I made some outlandish price that nobody would pay. He goes, and sure enough, they showed up and paid it.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I regretted ever pricing a dog.
Yeah.
Those 2 dogs.
Yep. Absolutely. What did I keep out of Lizzie? I had Deuce. We just called her Fat Dog.
Andrew was showing me a picture of her yesterday. I've seen her in pedigrees that I'd never seen a picture of her.
Yeah, she was the ultimate kill dog.
Okay.
She'd about like Reb. I mean, he's kind of going back though, but that.
Yeah.
She could kill a coon. I don't care. I've seen her drag. I was standing on a bank one night, and she just come up and sat and look at me, and she kind of cocked her head a little bit and kind of looked over that bank, and I was trying to figure out how to get to the bottom of that holler. And she went over that bank and disappeared up under some roots, and she come out of there with a coon about that big around. And by the time I got down to the bottom of it, it was dead. And it was straight up and down.
Yeah.
But it probably wasn't 50 foot to the bottom, and it just took her that long fighting it down that hill. And she just
Figured it out.
Oh, yeah, she kill a coon. She's tough, accurate,
Yeah.
sweet. I had some dog. I had a dog that was half pit bull and half red bone that I got from old boy that he didn't coon hunt, but he always had he traded dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
And he bought cattle, and I went up and got him from his brother in Jacksonville. He never say a word. Ugliest thing you ever looked at in your life. Had just as red can be, with a big old white ring neck and a white belly.
Mm-hmm.
Ugly dog. And man, when he treed, there was a coon in the tree.
Yeah.
But he got
pretty hot-nosed dog?
Pardon?
Was he a pretty hot-nosed dog?
No.
Okay.
You
I
could
figured
take him.
that pit bull.
You could take him out in the snow. I hunted him in the snow when it was frozen. He treed coons. He treed coons every time I took him out. He got ran over. And then I had that one. I bought a dog off the Riggs boys just so Andrew could have a dog. His name was Chip, and he was a Walker Redbone cross. He was.
What do you look like?
Like a Walker.
All right. So for the listeners, they don't realize that we got some company here. So you hear that, boys? Next time we see Andrew, we get to tell him that he had a Walker dog. Thank you for that information.
Yeah.
That is very valuable information.
Old Chip. Just say, what kind of dog was old Chip? Yeah, but after he got ran over, that's when I went up when I got Lizzie. And Lizzie, she got into some antifreeze.
Ooh, it's a shame.
Yeah. Man, that was
the
tough.
good ones don't live long enough, that's for sure.
That was tough.
Conkey's Outdoors is proud to be a sponsor of Tree Talking Time. Family, hunting, tradition is the Conkey's motto. They understand the importance of passing down the tradition of hound hunting. They are a family-owned business that treats you like family. They also understand the importance of having the gear you need when you need it. Conkey's carries everything for your next hunt, and it ships to your door quick. They also offer great warranties on all tracking systems and financing options. Check them out at conkeys.com. You can also use the code TreeTalkingTime5 in all caps to save as well. You hunted a lot with Bob Waters, didn't you?
Every night. Me and him.
I didn't know much about Bob until recently, and been hearing Perry Lambert's told me some stories about Bob and his dogs, and like I said, been doing a lot of pedigree research on these leopards, and he owned quite a few good dogs.
He had some really good dogs, and I can't think of that name of that dog that pup he wouldn't sell me, but he sold him to Bruce Smart. And that was when he was a baby. I mean, a baby. He didn't have a dog tooth in his head, and he treated coons like an old dog.
Nice.
And Bob wouldn't sell him to me. He said, I can't sell him to you. I said, why not? I want him. He says, then I'll have to kick myself in the butt every night.
He gets to hunt with him.
When I get to hunt with him. I said, well, okay. All right. That makes sense to me. But Robert, he used to be a red bone. He was a red bone man. And old Rex Paddock, he had a little black and tan saddleback leopard female he called Sissy that he got from me when she was a little old pup. And she was out of Robert's Midnight Buck and Deuce.
Okay.
And she was quite a dog.
Wasn't that the same cross your smoke dog was out of?
Yeah. Yeah, old Smoke. He was something.
Tell me about Smoke.
Well, to look at him, you'd think he could whip a 2,200-pound Angus bull, but he could not. He could not. He got better as he got older.
Okay.
And he got old Deuce chewed up a few times, grabbing the coon by a butt.
Yeah.
Getting a leg or a tail and giving it a jerk. So I got to where I tied him up. One night I knocked one out. I tied old Deuce up. It was about like that night to Lizzie when I knocked that one out in that hole of water. So she was having a fit because I'd never done that before. But when I laughed so hard. When first razoo he made going in there, when he pulled back from the hairline on his nose, and he had one of them big old square heads and that Roman nose. He had that hump in his nose.
Okay.
And he was split from the hairline almost to his top lip. And he was having a bad night. But after that,
he figured it out a little bit.
After that, and he double chopped. That dog had the prettiest tree. He'd locate. He'd just give a big old, wasn't really a ball. It was just a big old locate, and he'd sit down, and he'd just, and the only time he'd stop was when he needed to carve his initials in the tree. And he would chew.
Yeah.
Every leopard dog I had, a male dog, would chew.
Yeah.
I had some females that chewed too.
Mm-hmm. Knock on wood, I haven't had a chewer yet.
Oh, when you get one, Andrew, you'd say, "Why don't Smoke shut up?" I said, "He's carving his initials in that tree." We'd get there and the bark would just be peeled.
We had a guy that was coming to some of our hunts, and I think it was a black and tan. And I never even hunted with a dog, but I heard numerous times people saying you'd get into that tree and that dog would just have the whole thing just chewed all to pieces.
Yeah.
Like,
I had several dog leads. What was that? Nightlight made those neoprene dog leads years ago. And old Smoke would just chew them in half, so I bought a cable.
Mm-hmm.
First time I tied him back, he chewed the cable in half.
Jeez.
He was something. His old daddy was something too. That old buck, or that old Robert's Midnight Buck.
Did you hunt with that buck dog then?
Part.
Did you hunt with Buck a good bit then?
Oh yeah,
okay.
I had him when Dave Cox got him. It used to be Dave Cox, Dave Riggs, and me. We'd go to all the hunts together, and we'd get out of the truck, and somebody'd say, "Well, there's them 3 Daves." And we'd go to the hunts. We'd hunt. We used to hunt 2 or 3 times a week. We'd meet either down here or up there at Greenfield where they both lived, and we'd go have some cornfield races or just walk them down a branch somewhere and let them play in the water and tree coon. And we'd go to hunts, go down to Tilden, different places. Went to LaPorte, Indiana, up there to the coon club, to a leopard cur sectional. We just had us a good time.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Now that buck dog, wasn't Bob Waters' Blackie dog either out of Buck or a grandson to Buck? Do you know? I'm trying to think. I just was looking at that buck dog the other day, or not Buck, the Blackie dog the other day, and I want to say the son or grandson, if I remember correctly.
That would have been before I got him.
Okay.
That would have been before I got him, if he would, because I can't tell. I used to have all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I had totes full of. I wrote that article for the Illinois section.
Yeah.
Of the ACBA. when there was cur and a leopard cur.
Yep.
And pictures, I have pictures and have 3 generations scribbled on the back of a 5x7 photo.
Nice. But hey, it's a lot of good information to have.
But it all went up with when we lost the house in the fire. So that's been downstream a long time.
Yeah.
But we treated a lot of coons. One night, Danny Farley's a guy you ought to talk to.
Okay.
I don't know if he lives at Tilden anymore or if that other town, Pinckneyville. He might live at Pinckneyville now.
Okay.
But Danny Heap was Larry Brodigan's son-in-law.
Okay.
And he'd come up and we'd go down there. They had a clubhouse on the Kaskaskia River. Well, it was where we had the first Illinois section meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I met Dale Bennett, Sherman Borders, he was an operator. He had operating engineer. He lived down by Germantown. Mel Keene, he had an old dog named Smoke. When he walked in the woods with Smoke, he'd catch coons, and when he walked out, Smoke was walking beside him.
Mm-hmm.
Smoke was a saddleback. He was a chunk. I mean, that was quite a dog. And Ronnie Sands, them guys down in that down around Millstadt, down in there, and Pinckneyville. We'd go down and go hunting. They'd come up here and go hunting.
Nice.
And it was just...
Now, all these old leopards that you hunted with, not dogs that you owned, but what was the best dog that you ever hunted with that wasn't yours?
I would say old Blackie. That old Spud dog was too, but Spud didn't like to hunt with other dogs.
Yeah.
You turn Spud loose, and he might go 2 miles just to get away from you, but he'd be treed.
Okay.
One night we turned loose in the Apple Creek bottom, and we had Spud, and I think I took Smoke, and I had Deuce, and Bob had, I don't know if it was Pepper or who it was, I can't remember. But anyway, we turned loose, and it's probably 3 miles or better to the other end of it, to where Apple Creek runs into the Illinois River. And that's where Spud was treed. When we walked to him, we caught 8 coons between. He never left his tree. He held that tree. And we caught 8 coons from where we turned loose to where he was.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we got to his coon, I think we caught 4 more going back on the other side of a bar pit down there next to the levee.
Daggone. Sounds like a good night.
Yeah. One night we went down there and about 6 inches of snow. The moon was full. And we caught 7 or 8 coons that night.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take cold anymore.
I don't blame you. So, at some point, you kind of phased out of the leopards and you got into these tree Tennessee brindles, right?
Well, years ago, old Hank Crow, I'd go coon hunting with him. He lived behind my folks, about a half a block away. And he had these little black and tan dogs, about 35 pounds. The biggest one I ever saw was old Preacher. Preacher might have weighed 45 pounds. And there's a man that used to be, he was the postmaster at Grafton, Illinois. His name was Charlie Graham. And Charlie Graham raised this line of dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all line bred.
Okay.
They were all black and tan. They all had ears like a about like Tennessee Brindle.
Mm-hmm.
Set up, little bitty ears, pull them forward, they wouldn't even come get close to their eye socket.
Yeah.
And Hank used to get dogs from him. He had a little dog named Shorty. I went with him after school one night. We went over here to the Downies. Bluegrass pasture back there, cornfields all around it. It's frosty and moonlit. That old dog went out in that, and if he weighed 35 pounds, that'd be pushing it. And he was out in that pasture, and he struck a coon, ran it into it was a great big oak tree out there in that pasture. Located twice, left the tree. He did that 6 times. The 6th time he did that, he sat down and treed, and we went out that oak tree, and there was 6 coons up that oak tree.
Jeez.
He'd run every one of them up. He made sure because when he run, I guess he crossed the tracks.
Yeah.
The only other dog I ever had that did something close to what old Shorty did was Lizzie.
Okay.
She did that. She did that with 4 coons on a full moon night in the snow in January. And I thought she was losing her mind.
I can understand why you would think that.
But Hank told me, I said one night, and I said with Mr. Graham, he left Grafton and moved up to Mosier, Illinois, up on the west side of Calhoun County, just this side of Pike County. Was a postmaster up there. And I said, and he was getting old. Because Hank, he never raised any pups or anything. Well, Hank had met the Reverend Phillips at Black and Tan Days at Charlie Brown Park, and they talked dogs.
Okay.
And I asked Hank, I said, if you couldn't get another one of these Graham dogs, I said, what would you get? And he sat there a minute, and he lit his pipe, and he said, Dave, he said, I believe I'd go with them Tennessee Brindles.
Mm-hmm.
And that always stuck in my head. Because he was a goon hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And we ran out of leopard dogs. The last one I had was Little Buck, and he wouldn't hunt with you. I guess I'm mad at him. You might go one direction and think he's hunting ahead of you, and he'd locate and tree, and he might be a quarter mile behind where you just come from.
Yeah.
Which really aggravated me, because I never had one do like that.
Yeah.
And if there was electric fence anywhere, he would get underneath the truck, or he wouldn't come out of the dog box. Because when I got him back, because Bruce Smart's old friend up there at Industry had him, and he'd take him out, and he'd just turn him loose, and he'd tree coons when he's a baby. I mean, just turn him loose.
Yeah. And
when he wanted to go home, he'd shock him.
Jeez.
Because the old fart couldn't walk. And he's about like me. And he'd shock him and made him kind of shy of that. And that might have been part of the reason why he just kind of hunted where he wanted to.
Yeah.
But we had Andrew had a little female that he got from Perry Lambert named Fern. He wanted to raise puppies. Well, Buck, I don't remember if we raised any pups out of Buck or not. I still got his papers around here somewhere. They were in They were in my pickup truck because I had them for something when we had the fire. But anyhow, or maybe I got him after the fire.
Okay.
And get too many wavelengths going.
I understand.
But old Hank, he said if I ever got one, I would get the Tennessee Brindle. Well, I went on for a while, and I thought, I tried 2 Faulkner curs.
Okay.
They were really gamey. Neither one of them would tree. One of them had an intestinal problem.
Did you get those straight from Gary? Did you get them from Gary?
No, I got them. He put me on them.
Okay.
Young guy lived out west of Detroit. He had a litter, and the little female came from one of them guys that lived up north in Michigan, up in there. I can't remember his name. No, I got the female from the guy that lived right there west of Detroit, and got the male. I got the male from Danmore in, he lives in just south of Des Moines.
Okay.
Little old town, not Hamburg, little old town in Iowa. And I met him up at Mount Pleasant and brought that dog home. And that's the one that had the intestinal problem. But then one day I was sitting there and I thought, well, I'm going to call Mr. Bonsett.
Mm-hmm.
He came to one of our hunts. They're NKC sanctioned, so we got trophies for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had every cur dog breed that was with NKC then. And we had to hunt up Carrollton. Well, Mr. Bonsett showed up with this little old female. She looked like a China doll. She was just
pretty petite.
Oh, she was petite. And you talk about a coon dog. And he had, I think out of all the other breeds besides the Leopards, he had the highest points with her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, she got out and she done it.
Yeah.
So I thought, and I talked to him. I talked to him, visited. I thought he is just a dandy good man.
Yeah.
Him and that old John Combs. There's several of them guys.
Mm-hmm.
I really like them. That's why me and Andrew, we call him Mr. Bonsett and Mr. Combs.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. He said, I got a litter of pups. Well, the day that we went up to Danville and met him and John Combs, Cindy and Delaney rode up, and we had a new car. And that morning, Don decided to worm them pups. So when he got up there, we always met at the Rule King farm store, and they had a grassy area out there, and they let those puppies out of the dog box there, so they could relieve themselves, and we could look at them. And they all did their business and took off playing with each other. And this one little old, I mean, he was little. He was a runt. He looked around there a little bit, and he put his nose down. And he went right over that bank to the ditch, looking. I don't know what he was looking for, but he never did relieve himself or anything. And when My daughter went down there and got him, brought him back up over the bank. And I told them, you just go ahead and pick one. So they picked him.
Yep.
When she picked him up and was trying to pet him, and boy, he got mad. He's cantankerous as he can be.
So he's been like that from day one, huh?
Oh yeah, he was growling and curled his lip back at her, and then he got in the back of the Jeep, that new Jeep, and relieved himself, and he was still in a bad mood. He tolerated me.
Yeah.
He still tolerates me. He's bit Andrew. He's bit Delaney. He's bit Kevin. If he's one of a kind. I've never had a dog that acts like him, but he doesn't act that way with me.
Yeah.
And when he was 7 months old, 6 months old. Well, when he was a little bitty guy, I'd shoot a squirrel, throw it to him, let him play with it out in the backyard and waller it around, get a squirrel in a box trap. I think the second time I got a gray squirrel in a box trap, and he was just raising Cain with it. I mean, he was just barking, carrying on. I let it loose. And I mean, he probably didn't weigh 25 pounds yet.
Mm-hmm.
He ran upside that one of that maple tree right back here behind the house and peeled that gray squirrel off of it, and it was dead before it hit the ground. And he didn't want to give it back to me, so.
And that's your rebel dog, right?
That's the rebel dog. And then he had, that one summer I had a lot of trouble with coons and my chickens, so I've set a bunch of dog-proof traps. He's in a 6-foot chain link pen. He was 6 months old, maybe 7. And I went out there to feed, and I looked around there, and I thought, well, there's a coon in there. And he had been sitting there just treeing.
Yeah.
And I thought he was looking at a squirrel in one of those maples. And I went around to get a bucket, some feed, and I got a club, and I was going to go down there and dispatch that coon. And when I came around that shed, he had that coon. That coon was almost as big as him, and he got a hold of that coon, gave it a jerk, and pulled it out of that. It was a brand new dog-proof trap. Jerked it out of there, and he killed that coon and nothing flat.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was just a baby, and he climbed out of that 6-foot chain link fence to get there to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he has been to me, he's been a delight.
Yeah.
He's aggravating, but I am too. So.
Have you raised a lot of brindles over the years since you got him?
Oh, I still got that kind of a mindset that I don't raise them until I need them.
Gotcha.
But I got a granddaughter of his out there that I'm going to raise some pups out of. I'm going to raise more pups, and I'm going to have him drawn.
Okay.
John Combs wants me to get him, and Mr. Bonsett, so I got to find out where to do that. And I got a cousin that's got Hereford cattle, and he's got a couple of those nitrogen tanks.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a buddy up. He was a Leopard man for a long time, Phil King. He has a little brindle mountain cur female. And he called me the other day wanting to raise a litter of pups out of Reb.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see anything wrong with breeding that Tennessee Brindle, that mountain cur, because they're all cur dogs anyway.
Yep.
They all came from the Ledbetters and McConnells and everybody.
They were all a bunch of crossed up mountain dogs.
Yep, the Plots, all of them, those old Plot curs, all those dogs. All those dogs Mr. McDuffie had.
Yep.
But I don't know. I don't know how many dogs I think I'll be starting anymore. But we got to keep something around
for sure.
So I got.
You got some grandsons that need some dogs.
Oh boy, do I! That's for sure. But you know, it's hard. It's hard not to hunt. When in your formative years, I guess that's what you'd call them. All the old guys, when they meet at the coffee shop or the sale barn, or, you know, hell, Art Krause, he lived over south here, and he'd meet old Harvey Ross, and they'd say, how many did you be at the coffee shop? How many did you catch last night, Harvey? Harvey'd tell him how many he caught, and Art always best him but one or two. So it was just, Harvey got to where he started asking him first.
Yeah.
Before he'd ask him first. It was just comical to hear stories about the dogs that they had. Old Clarence Turner, I hunt with his grandson some. They called him, his nickname was Static, because when he was a little kid, he sounded like Static on the radio when he talked. And he had, my uncles hunted with him, and he had a little dog that wasn't a fox terrier.
Jack
It was
Russell.
just kind of a terrier feist.
Okay.
And his name was Business. And when they were kids, they'd go out with Business, and they would catch possums and skunks.
Mm-hmm.
He'd catch mink. They'd take him rabbit hunting in the daytime, tree squirrels, catch coon every once in a while.
Yeah.
And then they got an old spotted hound, you know, foxhound. They got too slow to keep up with the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they got this, he started where he couldn't keep up with them young dogs, so he'd find him something that went up a tree.
Yep.
I think that old dog's name was King or something like that. Anyhow, he would start treeing coons. So then they graduated from skunks and possums and squirrels and stuff, and they started catching coons.
Yeah.
And then they all hunted. Everybody hunted. And that's why people, oh, there's no money in it. That aggravates me.
Yeah.
That really aggravates me. You put a dollar sign ahead of something as nice as a good dog. I don't care if it's that old black Great Dane,
mm-hmm.
a beagle hound, a feist, a tree dog. You know,
mm-hmm.
I don't understand that, because when I was a kid, we went because it was fun.
Yeah.
We were with our buddies. We were with each other, just like trapping. You get out, you set you some. When I was a kid, the first thing I ever caught was groundhogs.
Okay.
Grandpa let me use a couple of steel traps. He said, when you get big enough, you can set one of them. You can use a couple of them. So me and old Boots, that shepherd dog, we went to work on groundhogs, and I'd get 50 cents for a scalp. Grandpa'd give me a dull knife and sit on the porch and laugh while I was trying to scalp it to take it to the courthouse to the assessor to get the bounty on it. But every groundhog I caught, I went to Wall Hagen's hardware store and bought a brand new steel trap.
Okay.
50 cents.
Daggone.
Now those steel traps, the same size traps, probably $10 a piece or better.
Yeah. And no one's paying a bounty on a groundhog.
And they're not as good.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't hurt to take a dog with you trapping.
I've heard a lot of people like trap-line dogs.
It doesn't hurt a thing. Especially if you're trapping coyotes and foxes, because you watch that dog where he relieves his self is the same place they relieve their self.
Yep.
And that's where you catch them. But it's just, I don't know. People aren't the same.
Unfortunately not.
They are not the same. I believe there's a lot of good-hearted people. And there's people that, it's like you got a dog that trees coons, and you like to coon hunt, like these deer hunters. They don't want you on the ground.
Yep.
I got a book in this house somewhere that was done by the University of Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
The effects of hunting dogs on deer.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to it.
Yep. I've seen a similar study, yeah.
There's nothing to it. I mean, I've killed coons with Bob Waters. Have 4 dogs treed, and there'd be 14 or 15 deer within 100 yards of us down in that Apple Creek bottom in those great big bur oaks.
Yep.
Never get up, never move.
100%. We all know that. Unfortunately, we just can't convince the deer hunters
that
that's the case.
And it's like trapping coyotes. They want me to trap coyotes. But they want me to do it after deer season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not beating that frozen ground.
Yeah.
So that guy can have one more fawn to shoot at. I don't care if them coyotes eat every fawn in the country. I got more respect for them. That's quite an animal.
Yeah.
And the other night, my little pup, when me and Andrew went opening night,
mm-hmm.
she went and messed with a coyote. And that coyote, and I said, "Is that Dizzy over there?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah." She come running back. He flipped his light on bright. Here she goes, and there's a coyote come chasing her and just stopped and just looked at us. And then after he shut the light out, the coyote saw us. It ran back toward the creek bank. She put right in back after it, and I don't know if she was playing with it or trying to
bring it in for you.
I don't know. Now that Mr. Hayes in Oklahoma's got a big Tennessee brindle that decoys coyotes.
Okay.
He's quite an individual too. I met him at the brindle hunt there in October.
Okay.
He's a pretty fine fella. It's not hard to tell.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little older than I am. But I don't know. It's just you gotta like it.
Yep.
I mean, so many people do stuff they don't like. But it's kind of hard not to like.
Yeah, I don't know anybody I don't want to say I don't know anybody, but I find it hard to believe you can go out there with a good dog, and watch good dog work. And not enjoy it.
Yeah.
you gotta hate dogs,
Yeah.
like, or something. Like,
Yeah,
I don't understand how somebody can go out there and see a good dog work and not appreciate it.
absolutely.
Maybe it's not something you want to do every day, or you don't want to own the dogs, but to not at least appreciate it
Yeah.
and find it fun.
I wished I lived somewhere where I could deer hunt with dogs.
It's fun.
I would absolutely love to do that. I watched that on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I worked for IDOT for 40 some years, 42. And if you knew how many dead deer I had drug off of the highway or buried,
Mm-hmm.
I have very little respect for white-tailed deer, and I don't care who knows it. But some of the worst wrecks I ever worked were from white-tailed deer.
Yep. My wife just hit one.
Fatalities.
I don't know, a week ago. Our van's probably totaled.
Yeah. Yeah.
I totaled a Subaru about 5 years ago. I smacked a 7-point buck.
Yeah. Andrew, he had would he have a pickup or a little car? He was driving to work. He was working down there. I was doing scaffold down there at the refinery south of Jerseyville. Big old doe come out of nowhere. She's poof right off the side of the car. As soon as those airbags deploy, they total them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Too many deer.
Yep.
Shoot them all and go coon.
Yeah, that's what I never could figure out why they called it deer hunting. It's just like it'd be like sitting in a lawn chair. It's like sitting in a lawn chair in a cow pasture waiting to kill a cow. That's the truth. All you got to do is sit there. Yeah. I better shut up.
Well, I won't push you for any more. I appreciate all this. I've really enjoyed it.
Yep. There's one thing you want to do. If you got somebody in the neighborhood that's got years of experience, and you need to introduce kids to them people.
Yeah.
You know, if something had ever happened in this country, I got a niece and nephew can't even read a road map because of them damn phones.
Oh, yeah.
And they couldn't survive. They don't know how to put it in a garden. They don't know how to butcher.
Most people don't anymore.
Kids actually think that hamburger comes in a cellophane package.
Yep.
It's sad.
It's not just kids. There's a lot of people.
A lot of full-grown people. There's there's common sense. Used to be an old guy had a his own radio station in Missouri. His name was Derry Brownfield, and he called it "Ignorance Gone to Seed." That's what he called it, "Ignorance Gone to Seed."
Yep. No, I think that's a good thing. Like you said, get these kids out there, get them not only involved in hunting, but just some good life skills and show them the old ways. Show them how
to be safe around a gun. All these kids that shoot each other and stuff, playing with dad's gun, that's just, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. And the way some of these senators and congressmen and idiot governors, I mean, you know.
Yep, 100%.
It's just, they're just, and how stupid do they think we are?
We are, because we let them do it.
Yeah, but if we did something about it, we'd be in prison.
Oh, I know.
While some gangbangers and all them
go free. Yep.
Yeah, it's just
we got a screwed up mess, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So all we can do is at least.
I should have been. Maybe I ought to have been a preacher.
All we can do is make sure that the kids that we have a hand in raising know how to survive.
Yep.
So.
And how to enjoy a good dog, and just enjoy their lives.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many things you can do. So much. Then when you get to where you can't do them,
Mm-hmm.
it really soaks in.
Yeah.
But anybody says there's no money in coon hunting, they are correct, but there's a lot of happiness.
For sure. I think this weekend we have proved that. We're having a ball.
Yes, sir.
So, well, I really appreciate you doing this, Dave.
I hope I didn't ramble too much.
You did not. So,
anyhow.
Like I said, I do appreciate it.
Well,
This has been fun.
Appreciate you having me.
Of course.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Tree Talking Media. And until next time, keep 'em talking in the timber.